Hey, Lane, what's up?
I knew you were gonna do some shit like this. Oh my god. Literally nothing is up, and we struggled for the first 5 minutes before we recorded with a topic to come up with, and so now we're just doing a cold open. I could bitch about the movie theater experience.
You could, after we introduce ourselves. Welcome back to the We Want to Watch podcast. I'm Ricky.
I'm Lane. Why is it the We Want to Watch It's just We Want to Watch.
Alright, fuck, man. Okay, dude, I don't know. It felt more official. I felt right saying it, you know.
Are we official?
Well, is our podcast official? Yeah, for sure.
No, officially. I'm not gonna finish that. Oh, it's Pride Month. We should talk about it being Pride Month.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's June. Happy Pride Month
Happy
to our
Pride
watchers,
Month, everybody.
to all our gay
Shout out
watchers.
Pride.
Shout out months.
My favorite deadly sin. Top 7, for sure.
Oh my god. Who let people... It's really crazy. Anytime I tell people that we have a podcast, or that
They're like, who let you?
They're like, wow. yeah. They're like, wow, that's so cool. I'm like, really? They let anybody do this?
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Trust
have to
me,
have any skills.
not an exclusive club. Yeah.
You don't even have to really know how to audio edit.
Do you have a microphone? I mean, or a phone?
Yeah.
Join the crew.
Does your computer record audio?
Yeah.
You were gonna pop off a joke.
Was I?
Did you have another Pride Month joke?
Oh.
Yeah, I saw it in your face. You had like the like I just ate sour candy look of Ricky when he has a joke he wants to pop off, but I'm still talking.
I was going to do one of my top 12 months. That was one that came up. I was workshopping when is Sloth Month? But that one, I don't know. I don't like the optics
people have
on
been making
it.
that joke for a while.
Yeah.
The optics.
Yeah.
The optics of my podcast. Yeah. I feel like the 7 Deadly Sins months.
Yeah. It's kind of like such a
I feel like
straightforward joke, right?
Well, and they've been making that joke for at least since God was a boy. Like, I feel
Right.
like that's, I don't know, like a while. Yeah.
Before there
What are
were the
seven
deadly
sins?
sins.
What are the 7 virtues? Because there's 7 virtues, right? Too.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's look that up.
Go ahead. This is great podcasting.
Yeah, really good stuff, huh? This is what people come to
Yeah.
us for. They're like, the 7 virtues? I always wanted to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? This gives me something to be mad about. The first result, AI overview. I don't want that shit. I just don't want it. I don't want to see it. Thanks.
Yeah, true.
Alright, the 7 heavenly... Oh, there's 2. So there's 2... That's interesting. They sort of separate them out. Okay, so the 7 capital virtues are those thought to stand in opposition to the 7 capital vices, which are the deadly sins. And then there are...
Right, so there's like lesser virtues.
Well, there are
that
7
like,
heavenly virtues
not jaywalking.
as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm going to get into this. This is crazy. What the fuck? Because there's the
Well, now you
cardinal
absolutely
virtues.
have to.
So there's the cardinal virtues,
Yeah.
which are the
Right,
first
because there's like the
4.
deadly sins, and there's probably like the like not so bad sins.
Well,
You know,
well,
stealing out of the tip jar,
well,
kind of a thing.
all right. I'll start it based off of the 7 capital virtues, which are the opposite
Right.
of the 7
Yeah.
deadly sins.
So those are like chastity,
Yeah.
right?
So
and,
chastity,
like,
faith,
generosity.
which goes against
Okay.
I want to say I can't say
Idolatry.
yeah I can't say that idolatry.
That's okay.
Eh.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. So
I want to say
listeners, get at us.
idolatry,
Watchers, get
but
at
yeah,
us.
bad one. Good works, which is the opposite of avarice. Interesting.
Cool.
I guess that's sort
Yeah.
of selflessness.
Yeah, generosity.
Yeah. Concord as the opposite of discord. We're actually using Discord
My
right
favorite
now.
grape. Yeah.
Oh, good grape. It is a good grape, actually.
Yeah.
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 Those are tasty.
Thank you.
Those are Reddit out, though. I don't know what that means. This is on,
It means there's no
it's on
page
Wikipedia.
on Wikipedia.
Yeah, there's some that are just
It means that
black,
someone
though.
created a link.
Oh, and then the page got deleted.
But there's
and it got
no-
removed. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Sobriety versus indulgence, patience versus wrath, humility versus pride. And then off of the ones that I actually know better, I don't know why there's 2 different ones. These are like the original ones, I guess, like the old Latin ones. But then the new ones based off of lust. So lust is chastity, gluttony becomes temperance, Avarice becomes charity, sloth becomes diligence, envy becomes kindness, wrath becomes patience, and pride becomes humility. Those are a lot nicer.
Humility month.
Humility month. What's it coming up?
I don't like that.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at like the rules on Wikipedia of like how to write pages and things?
No.
Have you ever seen this?
But have
we talked about this?
I follow the depth of Wikipedia page guy, and he goes to Wikipedia cons where it's like just like the highest contributors that are there. And he's like, oh my god, like, I've loved your work. I've followed you for, like, the last 20 years. And these people are so nonplussed about it. They're just like, yeah, cool, thanks. Like, I like editing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
nice. Like, cool hobby, man. But they're, like, they're holding up society, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, sometime you should check out, I don't remember where I first stumbled upon it, but, like, there's a bunch of very kind of nitpicky rules about how to create certain pages. I think one of them that stands out to me is like when to use like for a case about somebody who died, when to use like death of Lane versus murder of Lane versus killing of Lane. Like there's like a whole like there's like very, very detailed like rules around that. There's like that kind of thing for like all types of pages. There's very specific rules about like when to like what you can write and can't write and shouldn't write about like a biographical person versus like fictional people. Like there's all kinds of crazy shit in there. It's fascinating. There's
they gotta throw in a lot of allegedlys. It's like really
like
gotta cover their asses.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey is a locked page. You cannot edit this page.
Locked after 12,954 forum posts.
See, I told you we'd figure something out if we just started rolling.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
We vamped for like a good
7 minutes and 15 seconds.
You had no faith.
Wow.
What's the opposite of faith? Idolatry.
Fuck. Yeah, probably idolatry. Yeah. Idolatry. Yeah.
What was Rick's pick this week? Frederick's pick.
Frederick's pick this week was Gundam. And now, so this isn't the original Gundam series.
You can't just say Gundam.
Yeah, I know.
Gundam is like a franchise. That's like me being like, but this week we watched Mario. What Mario? All of the Mario.
Do you like how I started explaining it and immediately Lane got super defensive?
Well, it's...
I feel like I've made Lane a Gundam head now. They're like, actually, I checked the wiki and there are 54 entries. Don't just say Gundam, okay? It's not just a
very
Nintendo.
Specific rules.
Yeah.
About how to write for each of the characters depending on which timeline they're in.
Yeah.
No.
There actually is. Yeah.
Well, no. When we introduce the episode,
right,
we have to say the full name of the actual thing we watch. You can't just say Gundam.
Okay, we watched Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, or if you wanted to watch it in anime style, you could have watched it Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin. What is it? Rise of the Red Comet or something?
I only watched the first 3 episodes. So
I watched the whole thing. It's so good.
That's crazy. That's
so
like 10 hours.
It's 7 hours.
Okay. Oh, sorry. We watched, yes, the first, or at least we'll talk about the first 3. We can talk about more, I guess, if you want to, but I won't be able to.
No, that's fine. The first 3 are good. They're cool.
Yes. So Blue-Eyed, Casval, Artesia Sorrow, and the Dawn of Rebellion.
Yeah.
7-day free trial on Crunchyroll. They make you put in a credit card, but you can cancel it right after.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Crunchyroll. Do we like Crunchyroll? Do people like that?
Crunchyroll?
I noticed they didn't have Sailor Moon, so
yeah.
Fuck them.
So they used to be pretty good. So like, I think 2014, 2015, they started coming out, and it was actually kind of nice because a bunch of the like old anime streaming sites I would watch it on, 9 Anime, Kiss Anime, Shout Out, they just got like riddled with ads and like real disgusting shit, dude. Just like, I don't know, like horrible pop-ups, and also like a bunch of sexualized shit sometimes. It's like, all right, well, this is an unusable website, right? And then Crunchyroll came in, and like maybe it was because Crunchyroll was like filing licensing that it became harder for them. I don't know. Either way, they came in, and they were kind of the only sort of provider. Funimation as well for a while was like the sort of big one, but like there wasn't a huge like outside of a niche market for anime in the States, there wasn't a huge like streaming service needed. So Crunchyroll really kind of took off, and Funimation has had like a really bad webpage and app for so long. So like Crunchyroll's, which isn't great, was still like miles above it.
Leagues ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, they actually recently took over all of Funimation's archives, which
I was gonna say, I feel like I remember them merging or something. It's not clear to
Yeah.
me. Is Crunchyroll a distributor or a streaming site or both, or did it start as one and become the other?
I think it started as a streaming site and became a distributor as well, because they really sort of leaned into the merch side of everything too, and
Oh.
they're trying to kind of
That's
become
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to
Yeah.
become like Japan's, not like Japan's hold on the West, but like the only official merch of like anime in America, which is like
Yeah.
kind of impressive.
Sucks.
But yeah, it sucks because it's like a monopoly. It is great because it's like a lot more accessible to a lot more people.
Sure.
But it's also like
I
they
feel
can
like
offer a shitty site and they can charge more and
Yeah.
they can like I don't know.
Yeah, they have monopoly.
Yeah.
Monopoly role.
Yeah. So like
Says anything.
not great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't
So
like
scam
that
that
they took
free
over
trial.
Funimation. Yeah, take the fucking free trial. Who cares? I actually, for like 4 or 5 years, I used a Crunchyroll account, which was like it wasn't mine and it wasn't my friends from in the beginning of college, but it was like one of his friends from in high school, and like he was like, yeah, no, hundreds if not thousands of people use this account. Just don't bookmark anything because like he uses the bookmarks, but anything else because it wouldn't track. This was like early days of
Like
Crunchyroll.
what you watched or whatever.
Yeah, it didn't, like, track
so You could
hours.
tell like how many people were using
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I think
Nice,
like a
nice.
couple of times it got flagged because it had like played more than 24 hours of video in a 24-hour period,
Oh sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and then we lost it. Shout out Cold Thanatos, you the goat for real.
Shout out.
But
Can't believe you said that.
why? I think it's funny.
You the goat for real.
Yeah.
Um.
So what do you think of the first three?
I think they got better as they went on.
Very true.
I liked it. I'd say overall. The first one I was like, holy shit! I like just give me the Wikipedia page. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like every sentence being said was like
Info dump.
information.
Yes.
Like let me
Yeah.
let me make sure I name all of my characters 10 times so that you don't forget who they all are.
Yeah, and by
it-
particular like military relevance in relation to them, and like
Yeah,
they make
yeah,
really explicit like where everyone's like sort of political powers lie, and also like why they can't just storm in and start killing each other, which is like cool in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, sure, but I was still confused by it because it was so much. It was
It is
so
a
much
lot.
information,
Yeah,
and it's not clear like the stakes, I guess, or like what, because we're not really introduced to like the Federation until the second episode or second movie. Are these movies or episodes? Are they considered?
OVAs are movies, yeah, because it's like compilation.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I watched 3 new movies this week. That feels so good for my
Yeah,
stats,
hell
my
yeah.
letterbox
the
stats.
stats. So
But
I will say,
yeah, go ahead.
after I rewatched this, because this is it's like they cut down Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta, which comes after Mobile Suit Gundam. So the other Mobile Suit Gundam movies, 1 through 3, right? The watch order is Mobile Suit Gundam 1 through 3, and then I would watch Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, and then I would watch Mobile Suit Gundam.
Is this like machete order for Star Wars?
No,
where you're,
no,
like,
this-
supposed to
this
watch
is
the,
like-
the first 2 prequels, and then you watch the sequel or the original trilogy, then you watch the last one, like
No,
or
but-
whatever.
No. But then, because when you go back and then you watch Char's counterattack, right? Like
Right,
immediately
that's when
after
everybody
watching-
jerks off over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really good for like 1985 or whatever. But watching that after watching these is so fucking awesome. It's so sick because it really
Right,
fleshes
yeah.
out his backstory.
Well, yeah,
and everything.
it's-
yeah.
I was gonna say it is the Star Wars machete order thing, where you watch the first 2 movies to figure out that he's Darth Vader and he's Luke's father, and then you watch the downfall, and then you go back and finish the trilogy.
Yeah,
That's funny.
So it only does that because the manga and then like the anime itself were in like the
The
order
manga,
manga.
the manga,
And then the anime were in like the order that I described before, but the OVAs when they were
so glad I
released
can
were different.
hash
Right?
up all these jokes again. Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Somebody just
So
rang my
why did-
doorbell. Give me 1 second.
Oh, what am I supposed to do here? Is it Meredith?
No, I don't know who it is.
Oh, he's taking off the headset? I'm about to watch Ricky die on cam. He's not going to ever know what I said in this either because he doesn't listen back to these episodes. This anime's actually okay, so go watch it if you haven't, I suppose. I'm going to shit on it a little bit more just because I do that for Ricky, but, for the humor. Oh, he's coming back, so he's not dead. Oh, he's got a crazy look on his face. Holy shit.
That was interesting.
You good, bud?
That was interesting. Yeah, I don't know who it was.
What happened?
Two older ladies were out there in sort of like hiking apparel. And I was like, oh, if you're looking for Meredith, she's, door one. And they're like, no, we're looking for Anne Lindsay. I was like, literally couldn't help you. So. And if the name's
Meredith.
not, shout out Meredith.
Yeah.
If the name's not ringing a bell to you either, then I don't know.
I was gonna say, no
I was
clue
gonna say I
who
could
Anne
chase them
Lindsay
down.
is.
Yeah, but
No. The only people I know in that complex were Meredith, shout out Meredith, and
Meredith.
The dude who looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski, who definitely
Haven't seen
listened
that
to
movie.
Chris and I have sex fucking every single week when I lived in there,
What
because
the
he would,
fuck?
we would be, we would like wrap up and like go out to the porch to like smoke a cigarette or whatever and like look up and the guy's just like sitting there on, you know what guy I'm talking about, the one that's like kitty corner above you.
Oh yeah.
He looks,
Well, he moved.
he's no, he's still up there.
Didn't he?
Well, last time I was over to your place, over to my former place, yeah, it was still his decor and everything
Like
up there.
upper right.
Higher, third floor.
Oh, okay.
So,
I haven't seen up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you sit up on the porch or sit on the porch and look up, you can see him.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Anyway.
I generally don't.
He'd always be sitting up there. And
Okay.
I'd be like, okay. Nice. Cool. Anyway.
Like any other time you guys go out, he's just like not to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Jesus.
oh, yeah, whatever.
Eee.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, Mobile Suit Gundam, not to be like, where's the robots? But I was like expecting the robots for the first two episodes way more. Not that I didn't like them, but I was I was a little confused, I guess, for the first couple eps because I was like, isn't this whole thing supposed to be that this kid's the bad guy? I didn't really realize that this is like not a prequel, but an origin story, even though it's called Origin. I guess
This is his biopic lane. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're
See,
welcome.
that's the face I'm talking about. The like puckered, like I just ate sour candy face, where it's like I'm still talking, and you want to say the joke. But no, once I kind of understood, like I said, the first episode was just a lot, and annoyed because they just fucking recap everything you need, literally everything you need to know for the first 5 minutes of the second episode and the third episode too.
They do.
They just like
Yeah.
rerun through the whole, But once I
You just gotta make
understood
sure you
what-
remember it,
Yeah, well, thank God, because the second episode, the recap of the first episode, was way more informative than the first episode. In its entirety.
Really? You think?
I could have just watched the I could have just started
Okay.
it. Too.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of the like name shoutouts and the like character building stuff is cool if you know the characters because you're like, oh shit,
sure.
it's going
Yeah,
out, like
yeah.
yada yada, yeah.
Well, yeah, especially because they're like, and the like special pilot Char, and I'm like, I'm supposed to know who this is. I can feel the thing that the movie wants me to know who this is, but I
Yeah.
definitely don't. Other than that, like we talked about, I think we talked about this off mic. Yeah, that like I am vaguely aware of that character just because I know people make a lot of jokes about him. And
Yeah,
like,
he's pretty popular.
I thought he was a good guy. This guy definitely, he seems a little bit like an antagonist. Now, I only watched the up through the third movie where Amuro Ray gets introduced, who I'm guessing
Yes.
is the actual good guy of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people definitely seem to like this Char guy. Get a load of him.
Char is such a good antagonist because he's not like, it's not like he's a good guy, bad guy, because they try not to paint like anyone's actions as being
Oh yeah,
like,
sure.
too good or bad. He definitely is like the bad guy, but he's not a bad guy, I
don't know, Chief.
well,
Definitely getting some baby Hitler vibes from this guy. Definitely the first moment that he's introduced on screen, laying in bed listening to his dad rant about fascism or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And he's like sitting there, blue-eyed, blonde hair,
Blonde hair,
just kind
yeah.
of like, just kind of, absorbing it all.
When he's in the mech and like the first time and he starts shooting and then
Yeah, and he's like, "This is my destiny."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
these are my enemies, they're your enemies.
yeah. He's like, Artesia, these are our mom's enemies. They're our dad's. And she's like,
Yeah.
she's like, brother, I don't like seeing you like this. And he's like, I don't care.
She's like, "I'm 7."
yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
He's bloodthirsty for a little kid.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, we like this guy? Question mark. But then when the third movie where he fucking kills the guy, like
Yes,
he throws his
so
friend
cool.
under the bus.
Wait, okay,
Yeah.
no. Let's do them one at a time. All right.
Okay.
First movie, there's like not a ton to talk about. Animation's really good, like really high quality, really well done. I think they have good 3D animation here, like CGI.
It's a weird, shout out Christopher who also said this. It's a weird mix of like kind of older style and newer that doesn't always look great in my opinion. Like it's janky a little bit.
It can be janky. This is honestly, I think, some of the best CGI out there. Most CGI makes me like sick to my stomach to see, and I specifically avoid.
You mean like
any
CG
series.
anime?
Yeah. Well, any sort of like computer generated image. A lot of CG anime, especially in the scenes where they do try to transition it into drawing, and sometimes they'll do drawing overlays. They do that a lot in the third one for the horses. Horses are tough to draw and they suck to animate. So a lot of times, like they'll like switch between like the drawing of it and the 3D animation, but they overlay it when they're like switching them over. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit harder to tell, but it is still like it's noticeable and it's like a little odd, but it's so much better than most examples of it that I've seen. Like you need a very large budget in order to make CG like work well on screen, and I think they do a really good job of this. It doesn't make me sick, so that's like really high laud for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think it looks bad. I think it's well made. I think I just don't love the art style, especially in the first episode. The second and third are a little bit better. I like them a little bit more just because I think that's the setting.
Yes.
More than maybe the, but yeah, because like it suffers from the same Lupin the Third, not the movie that the one that looks like the Boondocks. I feel like this movie has a little bit of Boondocks energy to it. A lot of small pupils.
The movie that we saw?
Not what was it called? Goemon's Blood Spray. That one. That has like an aggressively ugly, like antagonistically ugly art style. I feel like the Blue-Eyed Casval looks that way. The first movie in this series.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like the weakest by far because it is a lot of like political drama, and then even like the action scenes that happen are like, I mean it's more just them escaping. Their mom definitely could have fit in the fucking like Gundam thing as well. Let's be real here. Yeah. There's no way that they could have that like she had to stay there.
Needed to. That's something one of the gripes I have with this from a storytelling perspective, and of course this is like now that I realize it's a prequel to set up the origins of the villain. Like I get it, but it is a little bit like okay, they gotta kill the dad. They gotta kill the mom. They gotta kill the surrogate father figure. They gotta kill the fucking cat. Like, it's okay.
They leave the dad. Oh, well, do you mean like just the storyline kills him? Yeah.
Yeah. Like the
I thought you were saying like the Zeon or the not
no
Zeon,
the Nazis. Yeah.
Yes. No. So also they kind of leave the mother behind as like a political prisoner essentially, and it's to try to
but then she dies like 40 minutes into the next episode.
Second movie. So that also it lets us see that Artesia is the one who like feels emotions of the two, and Casval is like he's just like off the rails, right? Like by the end of the second movie you're like, oh okay, like Casval's fucking insane, because like he fights the guy who was following them, who was a like I keep forgetting the name. Not Zeon. Zabi, yeah, he was a Zabi spy. It's like, okay, fair, whatever. But also just like fighting him in the middle of nowhere, like out of nowhere, in the middle of a very crowded part of town. Sick. Also, how long do you think since he like met fucking Cosval that he was like, oh, not that before he met Char. How long after he met Char do you think he was like, oh, I'm taking over this
I'm
kid's
killing
identity?
this guy. Yeah.
yeah, I'm killing this guy and taking over his identity.
I think
Like,
the minute that they high five,
yeah,
is
yeah,
actually
yeah.
when it happens. He's like, oh, bet, okay.
because like you see him like questioning it for a second, and he's like, "Oh, okay. God has delivered providence upon me. I have the mandate of heaven. Great.
Providence, one of the 7 virtuous
Virtues? Yep.
sins. Virtuous sins. Yeah.
It's put upon Char. He has it. You know. So I think Artesia Sorrow does really well with that, and then as you get like into the later movies, and Artesia becomes more of like her own character, as Salia, I think her name is, or Salia.
Yeah, Salia Mass.
Yeah.
Crazy names.
Yeah,
Fucking
so
crazy
They're
names
so
in this.
tough. And, like,
They're so
there's so
tough.
many of them.
What's the dad's name? His dad's name
Zion
is like
Zay Decom or something like that.
yeah.
Oh, Zion Zum Dekin. That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like okay.
And they say them so often too, and it's still like
Right.
just in one ear right out the other. It's like they're so
Yeah.
tough, and there's a billion names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Artesia, like she gets everything taken away from her, and like the second movie really makes her out to be just like a damsel in distress. She's like she doesn't really
Yeah.
do a ton, and
But she's a nurse, and wow, she's so mature for being only 10 years old. And then at one point they
Right,
like
weird.
pan up her legs. Yeah, it's really creepy.
yeah,
Not
they,
into that.
they had the one scene before the assassin showed up where she was like sick and like she was just walking around in a bathing suit for a while. I was like, yeah, no fucking
Yeah.
wonder she's sick, bro. Like, yeah, she's
Yeah.
got a fever. Fucking freezing
Also,
out there.
you're on like climate change ravaged
Yeah.
Earth, like you know.
Well,
like,
they were in Texas World actually, a
Right.
colony.
No, they.
Was
they
this
were
while they
in
were on Earth?
Andalusia, Spain. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then they go to
And then they go
Texas,
to Texas
World, which
World.
is really funny.
Right after
They're-
the assassins. Yeah, you're
They're
right,
like,
yeah.
it's like when that happened, and then of course we see that because when they're like, "Oh, this is Char," and obviously we've been led to believe that the kid's going to be Char, not this
Yeah.
new guy, and it's just really funny that like you start with like Aryan archetype Casval, who's like the prince of like this Germanic, right? Obviously very Nazi-like faction,
Yeah.
and then he meets Texas, boy, cowboy, who's like,
Yeah.
a good old boy. The only way that you could possibly find the only 2 blonde families in this whole like universe.
And it's cool seeing
It's
his
really funny.
parents because it's like
Yeah.
oh, okay, like I totally see like why they look the
Yeah.
same, right? Except for the eye
Yeah.
color, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
kind of neat, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And then like as you're watching the third movie, you're like, now wait a second, wait, how far?
They're gonna know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got into the third movie.
Yeah, I'm
finished
just
the third one.
checking the third movie.
You
to
can
see.
spoil it for me if you want. The third movie is when the Federation
Okay, they
ship,
do. They
Yeah.
do rise up and everything. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
It
this
is
one
the-
then,
the
because
dawn
the third
of
movie is
rebellion.
sick. Yeah.
You're done with the first 2 already.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the second movie, like I said before, I mean, like good animation.
Let me pull up my notes.
I guess he does take over as Char in the second one, right?
Yeah, my first note is just the word goofy. So there's that. So jot that down.
Oh, fuck. What was Goofy?
The whole first episode is really, really goofy. It's
Yeah.
it's building a really cool world, but
Uh-huh.
it's silly. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's silly. I have a hard time with this, but just because like it wants to be taken seriously,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and yeah, go ahead.
I don't know.
I can hear you.
I think
formulating thought.
some of it is like sort of asked to be taken seriously when it doesn't have to be. But like it also helps. So like Doddle, or what's his name?
Yeah, Dokel, something.
I'm looking it up. There's just so many names. Okay, I couldn't find it. But yeah,
Dozel.
Dozel.
Dozel Zabi.
When he's
Yeah.
involved
Oh,
in
of
the car
course.
bombing,
Yeah.
Dozel. How could
Yeah.
I forgotten? When he's involved in the car bombing, right? And he's like pissed about it. He's genuinely pissed because he's like
Yeah.
he's a Xeon supporter, right? Like even being a part of the
Zabi.
Zabi faction, and like he's a part of the Zabi family, right? He's still like a firm Xeon supporter. So you get to see like where like sort of their intentions lie, and then like how his dad immediately is like, all right, well, we're staking our claim, like we're going to be the family that takes over, we're taking out the Rawls.
Right.
And he's just like, all right, well, fuck, like I don't know. And he even tries to stop the army line from like gunning down them, the like first. It's not even a Gundam, whatever they call them beforehand. But
Yeah.
and he was like, no, like don't fucking do it. And then he calls his dad about it, and he's like, I don't give a shit what happens to those kids. And he's like,
Yeah. Fuck them kids.
it shadows his worldview, and then from then on, he's like, all right, well, fuck it. I mean, zombie forever, zombie for life. Because like he didn't have anything. Like in his mind, the kids were safe, essentially, right? Like they were going off world. Or well, actually no, because he saw them die, and he was like, all right, well,
Right.
fuck.
Yeah. Well.
Like
Yeah.
they're dead now.
Guess we're good. Yeah. Right.
And then like the other factions kind of know that they're off world. What is it? Not Cynthia.
The lady, the like
Yeah.
badass lady who's
Yeah.
definitely gonna be the big bad later on.
Caecilia.
Caecilia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I mean, fuck you. They just like keyboard smashed for every single name on this.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Like, come on. Like,
They're so close to like
Dagwin?
real names too. Dagwin.
yeah.
Dagobah. Like
I mean, like Artesia. Okay, that I can
Artesia's
understand.
cool.
That.
Cosval
You
is
know?
a cool name, right? Char is like
that
short,
one's pushing
pretty
it.
easy.
Char,
But, like,
Char is
Aznavour?
Charles, right?
Yeah.
Aznavour. Yeah, fuck that. Like,
Yeah. Like, come on. Dude.
that is an app. One person's name is just Clamp. The bartender is just. He's just like the Clamp.
Yeah.
What's up?
Are we both on the Gundam wiki right now?
No, I'm
okay.
on the letterbox page looking at all the character names.
I'm on the Gundam wiki looking
Yeah.
at the different characters. Yeah.
I bet you are. Garma, of course, is the
Dharma's a
the
classic.
rival that we'll talk to.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like the first episode. I think it's like tough because it's building
It
up
has
to
to
a
do
lot.
all the dirty work of
Yeah.
setting up everything. Yeah.
Right.
But like again, they do it again at the beginning of the second, and I'm guessing all of the episodes have a recap in front of them. In which
Yeah.
case, why did I not just watch the last episode?
That's
but
crazy.
just to get the full effect.
That's crazy. It's to pad the stats, Lane. You've watched 3 movies
I know,
instead
I
of
know,
1.
I know. My fucking movie stats have been really bad this year already so far. So I need to pump up those numbers. I'm only at like 130 movies or something.
Yeah.
Not even. So
I don't know. I guess also to me at least, like I like to get to know the characters a bit. So like just like watching them for longer, I have no problem with. I enjoy it.
I guess that's true. I did like the characterization, although I feel like the female characters in this are paid dust. Like,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, at least for the first 3. Like, I can
So-
definitely tell that the one lady is going to be the big, like,
Yes.
she's going to be, like, the one that he fights, right,
Yeah,
down the
yeah.
line. But, you know, besides her, and even then, she's portrayed kind of in a one-dimensional way. All the other female characters, it's like, you're just kind of shrill, little kid, and, you know, anyway.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Artesia Sara that I'm not the biggest fan of, but we see her develop more throughout the series. Caecilia is like just conniving. She's literally just there to like
Right, yeah.
backstab.
She's
and,
got
like,
devil horn hair. Like,
Yeah,
she has hair
yeah,
in the shape
yeah.
of, you know, she might as well have a big neon sign pointing to her that just says, like, fucking harpy bitch. Like, I don't know. You know?
she kind of
So-
keeps that characterization.
Yeah.
There's a line in the Blue-Eyed Casval that actually like sums this up really well. The like lieutenant, which is helping Casval and Artesia escape.
Artesia, yeah.
Like they're talking about her in like the recon car or whatever, and they're like, "Damn, if only she wasn't born a woman." It's like,
Right,
it's like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, so I mean, I
Yeah.
think they're like pretty upfront about the fact that like, yeah, like it's segmented. It's pretty sexist. Like the whole.
Yeah.
There's also in the 4th movie, the kid who holds up Dozel, the kid who holds him up at gunpoint in his office, he proposes to her later in the 4th movie. Yeah.
Sure.
So
I mean,
essentially,
sure.
so he has to
Yeah.
take the fall for what's his brother's
Do
name?
not,
This is crazy.
do not try to explain the rest
For-
of it.
for-
Degwin?
for Garma like
Oh.
launching the assault, right? So then he was like, all right, I have to
His
retire.
brother.
Yada yada. And then like
gotcha.
he was like, hey, you're pretty fiery. How about you be my wife? And then she loses all of like. Before that, she's like kind of a like cool character. It's like, oh shit, like she might be a part of the like main sort of
Mia,
crewing cast.
I think is her name.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. And then no, she just becomes Dizzle's wife, and it's like, alright, cool, great. And like you see her later too, and like she just like no longer really has opinions or a character. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
It's a reflection of real life, where if you get married, you just become some guy's wife in a lot of instances.
The burden of motherhood.
So, you know.
Or
The
well,
burden
I mean,
of wifedom. Not even you don't even have to be a mother.
true. She was a mother. That's what I was thinking. That I mean, there's a lot of I don't remember who, but like the guy that married like Serena Williams he's like a football player or
guy.
something. But it's like
no, he's just some guy.
oh,
yeah.
is it just some guy? It's just Serena
no,
Williams.
No, he's
husband,
famous.
Right? Yeah.
Isn't he the guy who founded Reddit? Am I making that up? That is it Alexis Ohanian?
I couldn't give a shit.
Name?
I couldn't give a shit about the guy, to be honest with you. I'm just saying it's
Serena
cool.
Williams' husband.
right. He's Serena Williams' husband. It's cool how like at least
in that like, one instance,
at least in some parts of society, it's like possible, right? That like you can just become like, you know, some woman's husband. Like it's like all right, like who gives a fuck about that guy? So.
No, I'm pretty sure he's a.
I thought he was a football guy.
Hang on. Jesus, she has the longest Wikipedia page. Yeah, Alexis Ohanian, Reddit co-founder. So he's rich.
Okay.
Yeah. But
maybe there's someone else. I remember like hearing about a football interview where they were like interviewing the guy.
You're talking about
it was around the Travis Kelce era. I don't know. I was only getting into it because Travis Kelce is Taylor Swift's boyfriend, but
it's not Simone Biles, right? Is that the one who
Biles?
her?
Maybe.
You mean recently they were like they were on a podcast, or he was on a podcast and he was like, I actually didn't know who she was, like who the fuck is this random girl? And she's like an Olympic.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, and he's just some like random whatever fucking like bench player, like nobody knows.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Anyway.
Different woman, but still like same sort of situation. Very funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of a big failing of this series. And I don't know whether it's because like the time period that it was made in, right? Like the 80s, and like the setting, it's like all military. Still not great. Not great on the optics. You know, I've talked about a little bit about optics, but not great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of movies with dead moms and dead wives. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot fewer movies with dead husbands and dead, and dead dads, honestly.
True.
Obviously, this movie has a dead dad, but it's not that emotional linchpin the same way that the dead mom is. So
yeah. They really use the dead dad as, like, the storyline.
The political motivation.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, like, here is, like, all of the plot reasons, and then, like, dead mom, they're like, oh, pulling the heartstrings, yada, yada.
Shout out to Ruprecht's dead dad, who, catalyzed the entire movement in Dartmouth, the entire war.
Shout out Ruprecht's dead dad. Shout out my dead dad, who catalyzed my whole being as a person. By leaving me. That was a baby. Shout out.
Ricky's coming out for Pride Month as an orphan.
Any other shout outs going on?
Shout out my dad, who should be dead.
Hey, shout out. Shout out Lane's dad, who always backs out instead of who always backs in, because all accidents happen backing out.
Not all accidents. It's just that the best way to avoid a backing accident is to avoid backing. It's for how many times I've said this to you, you'd think you'd have it right. Also, why do you suddenly have a spoon? Where did you get this? Is this a prop?
Yeah, it's all for just a bit I'm doing right now, Lane, actually.
No, but in the vein of us talking about Burning Wheel, shout out Burning Wheel,
shout out
good
Burning
RPG,
Wheel,
shout out Christopher.
Shout out Christopher.
The colonies are
yes
cylinders like Numenera.
Yeah, they
Shout
are.
out Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are cool. It was cool to see the reveal in the second episode when they're like, or the first episode when they're flying off.
Yeah, and it
you
like
know,
pans
the
out.
Munzo.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're like, oh shit, everything is enclosed in this one like spaceship. I was like, oh shit, that's Numenera.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Anyway,
It
even
also-
though that's not Numenera, that is Chris. But
Yeah. It also adds to, I mean, it functions like pretty much, or like very similarly to how Chris had his Numenera world
no,
working.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also like kind of why I was like asking about how the shutters and everything work, because I was like, I know how
Yeah.
they did it, right, on their pods. But I wanted to know how Chris would do it. I like
Yeah.
Chris's solution. Theirs is literally just like everywhere in the pod, it's like light or dark based off of the like the sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the docking
Yeah.
bays. I think those are really cool, actually. I love the idea of like settlements and like different settlements being like, hey, like we want to revolt, we're gonna fight back. Like we shouldn't have to subsidize Earth, essentially. And I think
Yeah.
it's also, it very closely mirrors how suburbs tend to subsidize cities and city growth, while cities provide amenities out to like people who live in suburbs. And I mean, that usually becomes a drain on the city itself. So it's kind of weird that they're like playing it on its head, where the principalities are the ones that are being sort of like quote unquote sucked dry by the earth versus the other way around.
Oh, is it? I didn't think of them as cities versus suburbs at all. To me, it's a very clear colonies versus imperial core kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's just a sort of side thing. At least like from like an economic. What I just think that's like that's something that I've heard a lot about in Philly. It's just that like they're very.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that exists, but I think this movie is not like, oh, this is about the
no, I
suburbs.
no, I don't think they're
Okay.
making like a
I see. Okay.
like a
A
city
point about
planning
suburban.
point, yeah, or like a point about like the way that economies flow from
Okay.
like
I was like, bro.
no
Get a
like
grip.
population density centers. I don't think they're saying any
Yeah.
of that really.
No.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but like definitely not looking at like.
No.
I don't think this was
Bigger
a
picture.
very well formulated like economic idea in the 80s versus now,
Right.
right?
Yeah, which we should also talk about one of the foundational texts of this podcast, which is the Gundam meme of like war is bad
Yeah.
versus wow, cool robot, which I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of that in the first
So-
3 episodes. Definitely feels like it comes later.
It's wow. I'll say even
Yeah.
even the next 3 the last one is the one where you see like the most like, oh, like there's robots fighting, robots are cool, how sick is this
Yeah.
shit. And that's where like it really gets into it. And then like when you go and watch Char's counterattack, you're like, shit, robots are fighting, this is cool. And it's just that all movie. And it's kind of nice because then you don't have to like you already have the emotional attachment to the people that you're seeing, and you're like, oh fuck, like no, not redacted. So it's like, it's cool. It's really cool, at least to me. I enjoyed the viewing experience of this. So let's dive into Dawn of Rebellion.
Okay.
I think this really highlights how, I'm going to call him Char from now on because I don't want to keep switching
Yeah.
back and forth. This underlines how just fucking like dog dirty Char is, you know?
Dastardly.
Dastardly.
Yeah.
Dastardly.
He's all kinds of
this
D
guy's
words,
up to.
yeah.
Yeah. Because so not only does he kill this guy who's like his doppelganger, cold-blooded as hell.
However, this guy kind of sucks too. This guy's like mongering for war. Like he
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
warmongering in a way that has never been mongered.
So it's kind of interesting when he comes back. When he comes back home, it's tough to tell whether he's, well, all right. He's kind of like an idyllic, I'll say like an idyllic like lib or idyllic,
Idyllic.
What are the
Normally, idyllic. Neolib?
yeah neolib?
What are you trying to say?
What are the guys, libertarian, right?
Okay.
But he's like one of those guys where he's like, oh,
Ricky's about to say the most half-baked, crazy.
it is kind of half-baked and
political
crazy.
analysis.
Like he's supporting a Zion, the Zion uprising, right? Which he has
I was going to say not Zion.
not Zion, the Zion uprising, which he has nothing
Yeah.
to do with. And like maybe he's doing it for like moral reasons, great, whatever. But he's still like you said, he's still like warmongering, right? When he comes back, like he's straight up like, I want to get out there, I want to kill, yada yada.
Yeah.
And he's like these people need independence. And when the people of the colony are like kind of 50-50 about that, right? Like there's definitely like a large demographic of them that do want independence, and that are fighting for it. But for the most part, like, and especially the ideals of Zeon Zum Dekun himself are very much so like, I mean, we're sort of led to believe that he would have wanted a non-violent uprising, right? And the other political factions were like, no, it's going to be a violent one. Like, I think we're going to have to go with violence. Especially, like, we see Raul, like, he gets back to Earth, and he's like, well, looks like I've got to make 1 billion gun tanks to roll out. Like, no hesitation. And then he, like, tells his billionaire friend, he's like, hey, Elon, buddy, I've got 1 billion of these shitty fucking Cybertrucks I gotta get rid of.
Boo.
Boo Elon Musk, by the way. Anti-shout-out. Quiet in to...
Don't even... I'm just gonna bleep it.
Whisper to that guy.
Whisper in.
Yeah.
I think anti-shout-out is funnier.
Anti-shout-out. So it's funny to see, like, especially when you hear... like Cosval, after he's taken over Char's identity, talk to other people who knew Char, and they're like, "You're kind of different, man.
Yeah. You're not this smart. Yeah. Why are you so athletic?
You're
suddenly?
so athletic. Yeah. That it's like very much so like he was really just in it for like the aesthetic of like, oh, like I'm supporting a cause.
Yeah, he's a little baby fascist. Yeah,
a little baby fascist.
You know,
Which is why when you see like when little baby
real fascist
when real Nazis come in, and then it's Char walking up, right?
Yeah, it is really funny to watch the little montage of him like running the 4-minute mile and like whatever, like and like giving him the answer to an equation randomly. It is funny.
I gotta touch on the one guy that's like, hey. He picks up on it and he's like, hey, Cosval,
I wrote this down.
I need you to know I'm in your court, buddy. Like, I'm here for you all the way. Here's this sick new goggles
Here's
thing.
the special visor.
Yeah. And also, like, very homoerotic overtones in, like, movies 3 through 6. It gets, like, really, like, they're heavy with it. Movie 3 especially was, like, big on it. Just, like, Cosval and, what's his face? Garma. Yeah. They're getting
There's a point when he like rescues him from the rain, like when he slides down the mountain and he like builds the like little tent or tarp or whatever over him.
Your palace.
I'm like, they're gonna kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss. Now kiss. No, one thing, the little excuse that he gives for like why he can't when he has to have sunglasses on. He says, I have an eye ground pigment abnormality, and it says it on his little like papers. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You just made that shit up. One time when I was a kid, I wrote I wrote a little note to excuse myself from gym class, and I pretended it was from my parents, and I signed it from my mom, and it was like, you know, Lade is going through something today and cannot be in gym class. And the teacher was like, fuck you, basically.
Wow.
Get in line. Anyway, so I should have said I had an eye ground pigment abnormality.
You should have. And then somebody could have smacked it off of your face, and everyone in your class would have been like, pick it up! Pick it up!
That's not against regs! Yeah.
Crazy how they all turned on him, and Char's literally just standing there with the fucking look on his face. That look is so insane, man. Like, it's... He's
crazy.
He's crazy, but he lets the slap move his chin so that his chin's pointing at the guy so he can look down on him from the most insane angle known to man, while being shorter than the guy. Insane, man.
It's true.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
The one guy who, like, gives him the thing, sort of, like, kind of a nice moment, right? And he's like, Castle, like, I'm here for you, bro. Like, anything you need, I'm in your corner.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna take them back. We're bringing the fight back to these dirty fucking Nazis. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, man, cool. And then, like, later, they're in the fight, and he was itching for his chance to get rid of this guy. Like, as soon as he saw it.
Well, yeah, because he knows who he is.
Yeah.
It's funny that Casval / Char, he has, like, He's like 2 secret identities deep now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro has never been more covered.
Yeah.
And he's still like, I gotta get rid of this guy.
It's such like an outrageous story that if that kid told anybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
they'd be like, all right, kid, pipe down.
yeah, yeah. Like Coswell never gets fucking contacts, which I think is just sort of to like underplay how prideful he is, right? Like he's not
Yeah.
taking shit from anybody ever. He doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna get his get back, and he doesn't care, man. He's him.
It kind of
In the second movie,
sounds like you like this guy.
he's so cool.
Yeah.
He's so cool. In the second movie, when like
This Nazi is so cool.
the teacher,
Yeah.
wow,
War is bad?
Yeah.
Man, cool robot.
Cool
Cool
robot.
Aryan.
Cool robot. But his teacher's like, I can't teach the kid. He scares me. He's cold.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and then
he's cold.
the surrogate dad is like, "What do you mean?" And then he like sees him beating the guy's ass, and he's like, "Oh, maybe he is bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
he is scary." Yeah.
Maybe baby Hitler
I
is
guess
bad.
I guess I would have liked the first movie to lay the groundwork for that a little bit more, because it seems like just suddenly he's a psychopath after those 3 years on the Earth. When
Right.
instead, I mean, obviously he's a little bit of a baby psychopath.
as a
He's in
kid,
Gundam
like
the
being
first-
able to
in
pull the
tank.
trigger, yeah.
That's true, but I guess it just seemed like a very rapid, crazy ramp
Evolvement,
up.
yeah.
Well, and we should talk about the scene between Zycilia and him where she puts the handcuffs on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, this kid's supposed to be what, like 15 at
Maybe.
this point? And it's like, no, he's 11.
He's younger, yeah.
No, they say he's
Oh, yeah,
11
he
years
is, yeah.
old. And it's like, wait, this little 11-year-old is like, I'm pledging allegiance to my dad, and you can't stop me, and I order you to take these off. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's great.
You're
He's writing his
11.
own manifest right there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's so cool.
Yeah.
But the fact that he like tells the guy, like, and also as that guy, right? You're the only guy that knows his secret identity, and he's like, hey, switch over your comms to like comm 10. It's just gonna be you and I on there, buddy. Get in that enemy
Yeah.
tank for me, real quick, Val. It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
dude. And
Yeah, yeah.
it almost like throws you for a second where it's like, well, maybe he just wants somebody very capable, and he's just testing him. If he dies, great, and if he lives, then they have a
Nah.
tank.
Oh, I
Nah,
wasn't
no.
fooled.
Blow that fucking
I
guy
wasn't
up.
fucking fooled. Yeah, I knew.
Dude.
I knew.
And then like as the tank's exploding, and that's the like one kind of advantage that I think CG has, is that like the fire looks like
Scary.
it's definitely different, but it's very impactful. So like comparing it to other animated fire, which also looks very good, in Nausicaa of the Wind, right? Like from those ships exploding, like those explosions of fires look awesome. I think the explosions of fire here also look like equally good, in a very different way, right?
Yeah, they look good for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but like you see like the like gears and shit, like the parts of the tank like exploding outwards, like when they blow it up, and like the whole time the guy was yelling Cosmo, and then like he's just like Char's just on the thing. He's like, "You fucking idiot! I'm
Yeah.
Char now."
Dumbass. Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
It's good. I like I said, I think they got better as they went on.
For sure.
I would definitely be open to watching the other, whatever, 4 of these movies. But I'm also interested to see, I mean, so does the perspective change from Char to this Amuro kid now, or does it stick with Char through the rest of this series?
It sort of goes back and forth, but Amuro Ray doesn't do a ton in this series, right?
Okay.
You get to
Okay.
see like little bits and pieces, little world building stuff, and he kind of gets teased, I think, in like the second or third movie.
Yeah, he's teased at the end of the 3rd movie, so that's where I saw him.
I think-
He's introduced.
I think
Yeah.
we even see him in the second movie. He's
Oh,
he it's like one scene. They're in an airport, and he's got like his like signature little robot
oh,
guy.
yeah.
And he almost
Okay.
loses it.
Oh, yeah,
like
he's
a
got
real
the little
kid.
toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I did not clock that was supposed to be him. at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
If they
If-
planted any Easter eggs, I did not catch them.
They didn't. It's you had to like know like who the robot was, who
Yeah.
Amuro Ray was, and then like you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, which is
It's this little robot.
yeah. So like I don't know. That is something about like the OVA, because keep in mind they're adapting
Yeah.
like 56 episodes or 52 episodes or something of a series, Mobile Suit Zeta,
Well, yeah.
down to an OVA.
Because I looked at. Well, no, this is based on a manga that was remade.
Oh, this is
like,
based on the manga. Yeah.
Didn't you read the Wikipedia that these editors went to such great lengths to put together for you? No, so Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated based on the 1979 anime.
Right.
So this manga came out 2001, and then the OVA came out based on it in 2015 and 2018.
You're right. Yeah. It's so cool though. I don't know. There's so much Mobile Suit Gundam. Like when we were talking about the Mobile Suit Gundam series,
I know.
And I was like trying to tell Lane which one.
And I sent you the fucking screenshot of like, this is just the wiki for like the films, like just like the media section, and the fucking scroll bar is like a millimeter.
I had seen like 4 of them, and they was like, "Sheesh, you like wrote this," and I was like, "No, God, no." I've seen such a small percentage of them, and like you just happened to stop on like the one that I had.
There's so many though.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah, it
Like,
honestly feels
media.
like a fucking universe that like
It really does.
an alt universe that people are just fighting in, and like you get to like watch biopics about it sometimes. Like it's so cool. Biopic.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Wikipedia page under media, above this like 50-line table that explains all of the different TV series and compilation specials and OVAs and whatever.
Yeah.
There's a little intro paragraph that says, except for Mobile Suit Gundam 00, which follows the current calendar era, all Gundam series are set in a fictional era with a new calendar adopted after a drastic event or chain of events. What? Like, like this is crazy. The moon is terraformed? Like, what are you talking about?
We can't get into it. All right.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
Because this is happening in Universal Century time, right?
Yeah, no, I understand that there are eras. It's still,
so cool, though.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I feel like I don't know, man. I can't. How can you get this much out of this story? Are all of these stories following the same characters, or are they all different?
Some of them are like retellings, but some of them are sort of like the tellings of other people's stories that we see from these series.
Just clicked it at random on Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. The story revolves around Bonager Lynx, a seemingly normal boy living and going to school in the space colonies. Bonager Lynx.
Bonjour.
Okay. Yeah, Bonjour Lynx.
But there's also like
Mobile
a ton
Suit
of
Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I think that's one of the ones I've seen.
Several real-life problems such as war, slavery, child soldiers, poverty, neocolonialism, and corruption. Who's this based on? I'm just looking at character names.
Yeah, I don't think
Christ
this is anyone
Guard
we know.
Security.
Yeah.
Cordelia Aina Bernstein, a Martian noblewoman. Okay, these are just literal key smashes. After repelling Jallarhorn, Gjallar Horn.
Yeah,
Jallarhorn's attack.
They got really Nordic with it.
Orga Itsuka, like, take a hike. I don't know what to say about this. I am interested in the universe, though.
Yeah,
sure.
It's cool. It's also interesting to see where they divulge from like space fights to terrestrial fights, because there are like a few Gundams which are set on planets, and those are like, I mean, really sick to see. It's a lot less because like it's less flying around and more like emotional impact of like people in. Like you get child soldiers fighting each other in robots. It's a lot more wow, cool robot than war is bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're all kind of very similar in their themes. With oh hey, war is bad. Don't use child soldiers. Don't be Nazis. Don't use like certain political positions to try to further your own means. Yada yada. Whatever.
While the white base is docked in Las Palmas, Captain Bright Noah receives orders from Admiral Gop to eliminate. And this is literally the Glup Shitto post about Star Wars. Like, I'm sorry.
We should make a Jenny Nicholson 4-hour video about the
Don't fucking start with me about
Mobile
that shit.
Suit Gundam.
Do not. I was about to come to you
Star Cruiser.
and attack you when we were talking about this. I can't. We can't start this on this podcast. We can't.
That's so crazy.
Listeners, if you listen to 4-hour
That's
YouTube
so
videos about dumb shit, you should reconsider your choices.
Viewers,
Watchers. If
everyone
you're not a
has
real
different
watcher-
ideas of what dumb shit is. Feel free to enjoy whatever the fuck it is you enjoy. Have a good time with it, fellas.
Yeah. Okay. And just know that I'm judging you.
I'm not.
Do you have any? Oh, I have. Right. And that's
What?
your. Well, I enjoy. Yeah. Let people enjoy things. My thing that I enjoy is hating.
It's being a critic is
no,
hating. I get
yeah,
it. That's cool.
yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Enjoy it.
One other thing about this, I noticed 2 songs in the score, not the theme songs that play over the credits or anything, but songs during the episodes. They sounded very, very similar to 2 specific songs. One of them from Zelda, and one of them from just the Disney opening sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't-
So
I
the
don't know
Zelda
which
one,
exact
I don't
songs,
expect you to know.
But
Yeah, one of them was so similar to a I can't remember which song from Zelda Twilight Princess, but I think it's Ilya's song. Do you the one?
I don't remember
Anyway.
the song. I couldn't dude it out for you, but
Okay.
I do know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
My favorite
so,
installment of Zelda, by the way. for all
yes,
listeners
I
out
know,
there.
which is it's a good game.
Yeah,
It's my
yeah.
favorite too. But that, and then it's like the "When You Wish Upon a Star" thing that plays at the beginning of a Disney movie, like with the castle. Those 2, like, they played over and over, and every time I was like, are they borrowing music from? Like, I liked the score, especially in
Yeah.
the first episode. I think the score is the strongest, actually. But yeah, but both times I was like, this is kind of lame. Come up with
Wow.
more music, guys.
I like the score. I think it's
I did too.
even if it's
just-
borrowed. I mean, I enjoyed hearing it. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I do remember hearing like 1 or 2 songs. I was like, oh, this seems like vaguely familiar, but I don't think I didn't like put a pin in it and connect
Yeah.
it to anything.
As the world's foremost expert in listening to video game soundtracks for 8 hours out of the day.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Instead of those trashy
my-
podcasts.
Yeah. Well, no, podcasts
Or
I
not
like. I
podcasts,
like
sorry.
podcasts.
4-hour
Yeah.
just review
Yeah.
video dumps, info dumps about
Yeah,
Disney and shit. Yeah.
because I have a job and I need to focus on my job and not sit and watch a dumbass YouTube video.
I
where someone
don't
talks
watch it
about
at work.
polls for 2 hours. Anyway,
Polls!
or holes. Do we have anything else we want to say about Mobile Suit Gundam, the origin, Casval's Blue Eyes, or whatever, Dawn of Rebellion, or the third one, Artesia's Sorrow?
You said you liked Dawn of Rebellion the most?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like I'll like them more as they go on. I feel like the story is the most interesting. I feel
is.
like it comes into focus what the story actually is in the third one. I think it has the best handle on tone as well. The
Yep.
first one is really weirdly uneven with tone. The second one is just a downer. And then the third one, yeah, like I said, kind of comes into its own.
I think part of this
yeah.
comes down to like the length of time for them, right? Because they get longer like as they go on. I think the last one
sure.
ends up being like an hour and a half long, and the first one was like between 45 minutes and an hour, right?
No, the first
No?
one was longer than the second one.
Oh shit!
The first one is 63 minutes.
Damn.
The second one is... Because the second one I remember being shorter. Second one's 58 minutes. The third one is 68. Then, 4 is 84.
Yeah, they start creeping up.
5 is 84. Well, no, but the last one... Anyway, I don't
How
know.
long was the last one? Is that not a 90-minute one?
Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. 4 is 68 minutes, and then 5 and 6 are 84.
Okay, yeah.
So I had my tabs open backwards.
Very good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can see that.
Especially as they get like deeper into like the Federation and the Zombies, their new sort of liberal front I don't know what to call it, but I forget what they call it, I should say. But it's pretty sick. The Autonomous Republic. Yeah, I don't know. I do think the first one definitely, like, it is kind of an info dump, especially if you don't know any of the characters, haven't been introduced to them. It could be tough.
Yeah.
Second one is like only supposed to give you emotional motivation, and then the third is when they really start to get into the meat and cheese of everything.
The meat and cheese?
Yeah, there's no bread. No bread.
Not the meat and potatoes?
No meat and cheese. Yeah, I guess it is. Is it meat and potatoes?
Yeah, the saying, like saying, like getting into the.
Oh yeah. Is that meat and cheese?
I'm gonna say meat and cheese.
Nobody likes no cheese lovers out there. That's crazy.
Watchers, hit us up in the comments.
Watchers, has anyone heard this as meat and cheese for the?
Watchers, should I make a 4-hour YouTube video about this?
Maybe it's bread and cheese. Is there a saying that's bread and cheese? Bread and butter.
No.
Bread and butter. That's a
bread and butter.
The other
Holy shit.
Is.
Notably, bread and butter, not cheese.
Not cheese. Yeah. I wonder where I'm getting this cheese from.
Holy shit.
Pulled that one out of the hat, huh?
You pulled it out of the bread bag.
Put out the cheesecloth. Alright. Anything else to say about this series?
Alright.
Good stuff.
I don't have anything else to say. I watched the sub. Feel like the dub would have made it worse.
I also watched the sub, and I also feel like the dub would have made it worse.
Okay, I can't even look at you. I'm gonna turn your camera off. Like,
why? What? Alright.
Holy shit, we got so unhinged so fast. Okay.
Okay. Wait, do you have a... oh wait, introduce the lane frame, yeah.
I don't actually know.
Well, no,
because I'm
we
getting
know.
into the habit of.
Don't we?
No, because we filmed these out of order. I knew this would happen. Remember,
yeah.
Hereditary is going to be the next episode.
Right.
So last week's ep was Hereditary. No, I'm coming into this. I'm getting into the habit of doing the misogynist stereotype of like, I don't know, you pick for like dinner.
Would you like me to pick? Let's do Mobile Suit
No,
Gundam.
no.
The last
No.
The real bread and cheese of it. I said meat and cheese earlier too. I'm fucking up my own fuck up. That's crazy.
This bread and cheesecloth. Do you give me a genre or tone or decade or something?
Ooh.
My temptation is to go with a war movie again.
Okay.
But that would be 3. We've had a lot of downers, so I feel like Amadeus was a breath of fresh air.
Amadeus was nice.
RSS feed. Yeah.
Nice pick up there.
So I don't know if we want another war movie, but I have quite a few movies. It's just that a lot of good movies are sad and depressing
because they're more serious, right? Like.
Yeah. So, I am asking for I'm cool with going with a dark movie, but not dark, but serious. But give me a cardinal direction.
Well, let's try to map this out, right? For in 2 weeks, Rick's pick, right? Would you be open to revisiting Mobile Suit Gundam and finishing out those last 3? Because if so, maybe we should break it up and not do just like war movie, like animated war movies, war movie, animated war movies, right? Like back to back to back. That feels a little daunting. But if you want to like switch it up and we can touch on these later, totally cool. In which case, I'd probably want to go with a war movie today.
Let's break them up, mostly because this can't be an anime podcast.
Lane is so like obstinate about this. It's not happening.
If we're gonna watch more anime, I want it to be like the seminal stuff. Like I want to watch Death Note. Like I want to watch like, you know what I mean?
That's not a war anime.
No. I'm saying like if we're gonna watch more anime, I want to watch the really influential
Right.
like stuff that like the foundational stuff.
I thought you said war.
Like this just felt
I didn't
like
know if you said. I didn't know if you
No.
said more or war. Yeah.
no more,
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Richard Moore. I got you. Yeah. Or Alan Moore, whatever his name is. Yeah. Sorry. Well, I think Gundam is like a good foothold into that. I don't know. Gundam is great for that because after we watch these last three, right? We can go and watch the like 85 to whenever movies that came out, which are considered seminal,
okay.
and then the Char's
We
got
could
our
have
thing.
we could have started though.
No,
with those.
I didn't want to
We could've
start
we
with those.
didn't
I
have
don't
to
like
start
those
with
as
these.
much. I like these more. And then we can get into the Mobile Suit. No, I don't know.
Then we can watch Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn about Glup Shitto. All right.
No. Yeah.
So we want to watch a war movie?
Yeah,
Or
we can watch
another serious movie?
I haven't actually seen the Death Note Willem Dafoe movie yet.
I am not watching that. So
That's
That's
crazy.
not happening. Is that supposed to be really bad?
Yeah.
I want to watch the original. So
Okay,
like,
okay.
yeah.
The original is kind of like a meme, and like you definitely
Yeah,
have
right.
to.
Light and L. I know all the characters and like the basic premise.
Oh, okay.
I see people talk about them all the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Anyway,
There's
that's
like memes about it
a
that go
story
around
for
too.
another day.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's especially funny if you like consider what the show is like without their thoughts, right? Because like 80% of it is in their heads. And there's like tracks on YouTube which will be like 4-minute videos of like this scene without their thoughts, and it's just them sitting across from each other for like minutes at a time. And then like they'll go,
Sounds based.
it's pretty base. They'll go, I noticed you ordered the chocolate truffle. And then like just like dramatic music plays, and it's just that for another few minutes, and then it's pretty homoerotic too. There's a lot of homoerotic and like
Cool. You're really
vaguely
selling
Catholic themes going
it.
on.
Fuck you for making us watch this Gundam show instead of
Bro,
that.
I did not think you would ever be sold
Bro.
on the 46 episode Death Note series. Sorry.
Oh, it's 46 episodes.
It's something like that between season 1 and season 2. Yeah. I think season
There's
1 is
2
much
seasons
better
and they're
than
two-
season 2. And I think that's a very common
We should
opinion.
totally watch Sailor Moon.
Oh, we should. I'd be down for
As
that.
well.
Yeah.
Have you seen the original Sailor Moon?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's fucking awesome. That show is so good.
Jeez.
Okay, but
Okay.
this week we are not watching that.
Okay.
We Vietnam or Shakespeare?
Ooh, Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Okay. Bold choice of you, I think,
Wow.
actually.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to watch as the next Lane's frame, Henry V from 1989, directed by Kenneth Branagh. He is the guy who plays Gilderoy Lockhart in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah,
So
I know it.
that's how you know him.
Yeah.
You'll recognize him. Yeah. He's also Poirot in the new Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express. Those new movies. Anyway, but this was the movie that. So I really like his movies. We'll talk about that next week or 2 weeks from now. But a lot of people don't like his movies.
Yeah.
I like this guy a lot. But so this is his like big breakthrough movie.
Okay.
He's like big Shakespeare guy. I actually have not read Henry V or ever I think seen it adapted. So this will be interesting and new to me.
Okay,
I've not
sweet.
seen this movie, but it's one of the last ones on his filmography that I need to cover. He also did the Artemis Fowl adaptation that came out like
shit.
right at the
Yes.
the one that everybody hates.
Yeah. I kind of have a soft spot for like horrible book adaptations to like film or movie. Aragon's another one. I kind of have a soft spot to horrible adaptations like that.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
What?
I can't believe you just said that.
What?
Oh, I have a soft spot for horrible adaptations, like The Last Airbender, perhaps. Anyway.
No, because no,
Definitely just blew
no. All right, to some horrible adaptations, specifically book to like other form of media. The Shannara series, I was not a big fan of But I don't know. I love the Terry Brooks books. Is it cool? He's a good author. Magic Kingdom for sale. Shout out.
Cool. So next week we want to watch Henry V. It is not on streaming. I'm looking up to see if it's...
Have fun sailing the seas. For Henry
Maybe.
V. Maybe.
It might be like
Sure
free
he's
on
out.
YouTube, honestly.
Might be free
I'm
on
not sure.
Freebie or Tubi or
Tubi
Glarmpo.
or Glup Shitto. Yeah. We both got there.
Oh, do they have that on the
It's
new
not on Tubi.
Sasro Zabi service? 'Cause that's what I heard that's on Rambo Raw, actually. I got that new doohickey, the Aznobble. Just gotta plug it in, it works. It's pretty nice. Mine got charred in transport, though. I don't know how. I'm done with it.
Did you see this on Dozel?
Yeah. Shout out Dozel.
Oh my god. All right. Did we? No songs came up today.
No.
That's kinda crazy.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You my brown-eyed. Wait, what?
Char Aznable.
Yeah. What's the like the fuck, like not a duplicator. They look the same as you. I said it earlier today.
A doppelganger.
Doppelganger. Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to take that clean?
Brown-eyed doppelganger. Do you remember when we used to sing sha la 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 di da? Don't miss that.
You could have put Char Aznable.
Oh, Char
Yeah,
di da. Don't miss that flight.
Okay, so the real ending for this is I'm going to cut in Ilya's theme from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and compare it to Haha Eno Tagami from the Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin soundtrack, and you be the judge.